Hey everybody, it's Adam Carlson from Chip Theory. Thank you for joining me today. So we got something in the mail yesterday, Hoplomachus Remastered. I've had the pleasure of taking a look at it and I'm blown away. So I would love to give you an overview. We're gonna open this up. We're gonna take a look at the components and we're gonna talk a little bit about what makes Hoplomachus Remastered different. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna open this bad boy up. Woof. Nice and heavy and thick. Love that. All right, product book. We don't need that now. Rule book. Yes. Reminds me of Burn Cycle a little bit thicker cover. Definitely lots of detail. Ooh, quick reference. So yes, this will be used for your solo, your co-op, and your PvP play. Very, very important. Kind of an overview. Turn-by-turn type stuff. This is what we need here. Reference sheet. So this is for all the skills. Now, if you look at it, it's actually identical to the one that comes in Victorium. These gladiators have a lot in common as Victorium. So there'll be some, different maybe skills matching, but ultimately this is the exhaustive list. So if you've got Victorium, you've got two of the exact same reference sheet. Now, I want to talk a little bit about that compatibility piece. So we're going to actually put up a PDF on our support page that kind of walks you through what exactly can work when you put this game into Victorium or Victorium into Remastered. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how compatible these are. Ooh. All right, so we've got Titans, we've got Immortals, all right? Just on this PVC here, similar to the Scions in Victorium. I'm just going to put a card out here so you can take a look. All right, 6 Titans, right? One of them is the Monkey King. All right, you've got your setup instructions. The shards are actually components on the game that you're actually going to be collecting or interacting with somehow in your epic battle against these Titans. Now, understand that these games against the Titans will take 45 minutes, maybe an hour long. It's just one big epic battle. That's what's different from Victorium. So on this side, obviously the Monkey King has his own stats. These are the dice you roll. What you see here are actually the triggers. Each of the dice, if they roll a hit, then you follow that action. And so sometimes they are very consistent. Other times they are wildly unpredictable. So that's really, really cool. So that was the Titan. The other that I mentioned was the Immortals. So understand in Remastered, there are actually 2 arenas that come in the game. First, you've got the Colosseum. That's where those Titans are. But over here, you've got the Pazzuli Arena. All right, the Pazzuli Arena is where these Immortals come into play. So the Immortals they provide a little bit different feel. This is different from OG Hoplo. So the Immortals are sort of, on par with your champions. You will be facing off against them one after another. And yes, there will be criminals, there will be beasts, there will be other units that will support them, that will try and take you down. But as you go through them in succession, you might be able to take down 2, 3. I dare you to try to take down 4. All right, we've got our bags, our felt bags. So these are for putting those rival ships in, randomizing them. Even in PvP play, all of your ships will go in here for drawing. The dice are identical to Victorium. If you haven't seen them, I'm just going to pop them out for just a moment here. We've got our attack dice and then our D6s. The D6s are used really for tracking or even for the Titan skills. The attack dice, there's 5 different colors. They're very, very similar to each other. They have a sword icon or a no sword icon. Each of these colors represents a different probability in landing that hit, that damage. As I show you those gladiators, you will see a little dye color pip on those chips, and they will represent just how much damage they are potentially able to do and what the odds are. Let's put those aside for a moment. We've got a couple of beads. So the beads are really to be put on the arena to track your crowd favor. So the crowd favor is a brand new mechanic that is only in Remastered. A lot of what you do in gameplay is really managing that crowd favor and trying to unlock and grow stronger in that way. The arena. All right, it's a double-sided mat. We've got the Pizzoli Arena I mentioned earlier. The other side is the Colosseum. We'll give you a top-down shot in a minute. And the last, and perhaps the most exciting component, is the chips. There are so many chips in this game, more than Victorium. If you take a look, even just in this shot, you'll see some chips that are looking familiar. Over here are the red and blue chips. These are the health chips. So if you're not familiar with our games, those are the chips that go underneath your unit and represent how healthy a gladiator is. So there are two colors because it's for two different sides when you play versus mode or if you play against a rival. These here are the factions. So the factions come with their own set of units. These are different from what you find in Victorium. So yes, more defender types, more attackers, more archers, more tacticians. In fact, they are very similar to OG Hoplo, all right? So you'll see a lot of those classic units. And each of these factions differ really only by a few chips. This is important because when you're playing PvP, it's going to start to feel like a chess game where you kind of understand how their units work and your units work, but you do have a few unique units that you will try to use to your advantage and try to play those tactics. Yes, so the factions each have your own set of tactics as well. Let me just take out a faction. We'll take a look at some of those chips, and we'll take a look at the tactics and talk a little bit about the differences. All right, so I've set aside some of the key chips from my faction. I have chosen the Pluto's refugees to kind of talk about. If you are familiar with OG Hoplo, you'll see some familiar chips as I mentioned earlier. You've got your protector, marksman, strategist, and actually this would be the attacker. So those are your classic units. These three have the skills and dice that you're familiar with. The psychopomp is actually replacing the attacker with a special, unique combat lock. Retaliate is a combination of skills that are not found in any other unit. So the psychopomp is specific to the Pluto's refugees. Also, we brought back the Beastmaster and Beast from OG Hoplo. So this is really a new mechanic as well, and I think you'll love them. You'll love them. And then, of course, you've got your Hero Championship. This is that double thick chip, just like Victorium, right? And it's very similar. It's the same thickness as those Immortals and the Titans as well. So all those are double thick. So if you haven't already figured it out, this is laid out very similarly to the Heroes Champions of Victorium. That's where that compatibility comes into play. So very, very cool. One of the other things that I didn't put out, let me just swap this out here. Similar to the gladiators that I shared with a few differences, we also have familiar looking tactics. If you're familiar with OG Hoplo, bolster health, stun, hamstring, and even the adrenaline will appear in a faction, but they're going to be lacking one of those classic tactics and have a real special tactic just for that faction. So for Pluto's refugees, it's pivot. So that's really cool. So I'll be using that to my advantage when I play against you. Give me a moment to just put these aside. Let's show off some of those Titans and Immortal chips as well. All right, so we've got our Titans and Immortals. There are 6 Titans, 6 Immortals, right? So the Titans, I showed you the card. They have all the stats and everything on that card. So they just need the full art because all the stuff that's on the card can change over combat. The Immortals here are a little bit more simple, straightforward. They kind of match your champion and hero. So ultimately, these are the ones that you're going to be kind of going through one by one. Nice chips. 2 more things I want to show you, all right? So I showed you a champion or hero. So all of the factions have their own champion or hero. Again, compatible with compatible with Victorium. And there are actually 3 all new champion/hero units that you will be able to unlock as you build your crowd favor meter. Let's show these off. So these are actually going to be the units that you get to play as if you unlock them. Very similar in strength to your champion. Now this stack of white chips is the last bit. So these are essentially the chips that will go with each respective arena. You've got your Pazuuli arena that will have criminals, beasts that will accompany those immortals. And then you've got shards that are kind of a mechanic component that will complement the Titan. And so you've got sort of a mission, an objective. As you combat the Titan, you've got to go collect them or flip them or attack them or something. So let's just show off a couple of those chips. All right, so just like I was just discussing, our beast. So this is the new gladiator type. Yep, you've got your warrior. The criminals come in all different forms of the type of gladiator. The back would be the arena. And you've got, so the sentinels are units that you will be able to unlock and sort of recruit to fight for you as well. The Titans will be able to get those and recruit their own. The shards, and this is the back side, so that's the foothold. So that's another mechanic that will be in the Colosseum. Let's take a look further. So I've set up the Colosseum, and I wanted to show you kind of a snapshot of what solo play looks like against the Titan, the Monkey King. All right, I've got my cards set up over here so I can reference it and use it for its turn. But as you can see, I'm kind of in the middle of a game right now. I've got my gladiators that are ready to go, my tactic that I haven't played yet. My hero is already in action, and I've got a couple of gladiators here. You can see over in this area, this is where I've set up my crowd favor. So as you count up each of these meters, I'm unlocking these chips that will help me in this combat, right? I mentioned the shards. So the shards are really part of the story, part of a unique direction that I have to do. I either have to take them all down or capture them or whatever the instruction that the Monkey King has. Each Titan is different in that way. So you'll kind of see what all of the Colosseum is about. You can also see the blue side over here. So again, there's no crowd favor stuff set up because I'm playing the rival. But if I was playing PvP, it would be a mirror image of what I've got over here. All right, so that was the Colosseum. This here is the Pazuuli arena. All right, so right now we're halfway through a PvP 1v1 battle. As you can see, the players will sit opposite of each other using these deployment hexes. That's what these icons are. So units will come out every now and then and run towards the center to have an epic battle. The reason why they want to come to the middle is each of these metal hexes are actually crowd favor stones, and that's where you build this mechanic here to unlock bonuses, tactics gladiators, and our champion gladiator as well. You've got different rules for combat, different ways to earn crowd favor. The meters, the rewards are different. It's just very, very, very different from Colosseum. Super exciting. Now, let's pack it all up. So that is Hoplomachus Remastered. Wow, this takes me back. You know, Josh and I, we made Hoplomachus Lost Cities, Rise of Rome, and Origins 10 years ago. And for so long, we've wanted to give it a special, proper chip theory games treatment. And I think we've done just that with this product. You know, it's got a bit of the Lost Cities and Rise of Rome. We've really cleaned up the units. We've, you know, made all the graphics pop, all new art. We've got the units, the tactics are all streamlined and everything. And I mean, a ton of the stuff is compatible with Victorium. On our website, there's going to be a PDF that will kind of give you a breakdown of what exactly works in that product, this product. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to find that out. And again, this is, you know, solo play. There's 6 immortals, 6 Titans. You can play against them cooperatively. With 2, there's 3-player, 4-player, PvP, free-for-all, and 2v2 teams game. I hope that you like what you saw and join us for the pre-order on our website. Adam out. Thank you.